What is going on, everybody? This is Jackson from JD Sports Zone. And again, I have another special Banana Ball interview. The voice, the broadcast entertainer for the Firefighters of Banana Ball, Zach Staton. Zach, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this. How's your day going? And happy holidays.
First of all, man, happy holidays to you. Thanks for having me on. Day's going great. We're doing a little pre-holiday cleaning of our press box right now, so hopefully I'm not too sweaty for you. But yeah, man, it's good to be on. Thanks for having me.
I'm super excited to have you on. Now, I want to actually start about your career, some questions about your career before Banana Land.
Sure.
Personally, I went the same route as you. I'm in college sports radio at my college right now, in my final semester. And then you kind of built up after that, doing some other avenues and TV sports anchoring. And now you're in Banana Land, the best place on earth with the firefighters. I want to ask you, what kind of led you to the destination and occupation that you're at now throughout your career?
Yeah, so in college, like you just talked about, did a little bit of everything. Worked really, really closely with our athletic communications department, doing play-by-play, sidelines, studio hosting, shooting video of games, whatever I could at Bridgewater College for 4 years. Also was part of our BC Spark radio program. Eventually became the director of that my senior year. And then did a year of grad school at Newhouse at Syracuse University. And that both of those places taught me so many different things, right? Bridgewater taught me how to be confident on the air, how to try new things, how to be yourself. And Syracuse gave me a few more of the technical pointers that I needed to know. Some of the things I didn't learn through practice, some of the things that, until someone teaches you, you don't entirely have the wherewithal to teach yourself these things. So going to Syracuse was massive. And then I went the local news route for quite a few years. So I started my career at a station called WDAY in Fargo, North Dakota. Started as a sports and news hybrid in 2018. And by the beginning of 2020, I was the weekday sports anchor. So it was pretty quick progression in Fargo. Spent almost 4 years there. And then in the summer of 2022, I went down to WTKR in Norfolk, Virginia, and was there for just a shade under 3 years. And then in April, I was laid off. I was a little down on my luck, a little down on myself when this job came open. I had seen it on, I think it's Teamwork Online. Um, and I was at that point, I was still a little bit in my head, wasn't really confident, and I was like, man, it probably wouldn't get it. There's a million people that are going to apply for this job. Why would they choose me? And my wife was the one that said, in 10 years, are you going to regret not trying this? Or are you going to be confident that you didn't try it? And I knew the answer right away. And she said, well, what are you waiting for then? Apply. I did. And the executive producer here, Ivan Trezak, is someone that I went to Syracuse with. He was in a different grad program than I was, but we were both sports communication emphasis students. So I knew him quite a bit from our time at Syracuse and always enjoyed being around him. He's such a hard worker. He's such a dedicated worker. And you'd seen him rise up here in Banana Ball. He reached out to me after I applied and said, let's talk. And that conversation started one of the most chaotic, unpredictable, and frankly, one of the what I would describe as meant to be times of my life where I just this feels so natural to me that this is where I'm supposed to be. And if Yvonne didn't believe in me, man, I'm not sure I would be here. So I've had a lot of luck. Stumbled into some really cool connections and really cool opportunities, and tried to work as hard as I could wherever I was.
That's absolutely awesome to hear. I love hearing, post grad and college journeys and destinations for ball players, but I've never gotten the opportunity to ask somebody from a broadcast entertainment side of things. And, sometimes it's not about the destination, it's about the journey, that leads you there. I mean, everything was put in plans in place for you, and now you're in the best place on earth. I would say, obviously outside of Disney World, the happiest place on earth, Banana Land.
What a great.
I love what you do, man. I always see all the amazing content you guys put out on Instagram, all the fans first entertainment, stuff with that. So truly, again, it's an honor to get you on the podcast and interview you in this aspect. And that kind of, I guess, leads to my next question. Obviously, with regular baseball, people have the regular calls like they do, try to differentiate yourselves. You're on the entertainment side of baseball. So I guess I want to ask you, how do you flip the switch from, I guess, traditional baseball to entertainment baseball, and what do you do differently when you're calling games for the firefighters?
think the biggest thing with me is my style kind of fit this a little bit better, right? I grew up really idolizing and looking up to the likes of Kevin Harlan, Gus Johnson, Ian Eagle, and these are guys who weren't the quote unquote traditional. Yes, they were in the sense of like they were on the traditional games, they had a lot of traditional things, but these are guys who weren't boxed in. They if they saw something that was exciting in the first quarter, they were going to call it like it was exciting. If they saw something that was exciting, like Ian Eagle is the broadcaster for the Nets, if they're playing the Timberwolves and Kevin Garnett throws a big dunk, he's going to call it like it's an exciting thing. I always like that because that's kind of who I was in general. I was always the kid that was getting told not to talk in class because I talked too much. I was always very loud. And so when I was doing some more traditional broadcasting things, yes, I could do it and I felt confident in it. But sometimes you feel like there's a little bit more of your personality you can show. And so being here has helped me just a little bit to find my personality more so on the air, be able to show that and have confidence in that. How you prepare for that is you just prepare for anything, right? You prepare for yes, what they do in between the white foul lines, and you see what the players can do, but you also are prepared for if there's a trick play, you better be ready for it. And I got a pretty big lesson on that my first weekend when we turned a triple trick play, double play. In game two in Richmond. And it was something that blew my mind. I'd never seen anything like that before. Right. So, there's a lot of things you have to be prepared for, but the biggest thing is just be prepared for anything and everything in terms of the unknown. Have a couple different thought processes on how you might attack certain things, but also be ready to go on the fly because you never know what these guys and gals on the field are going to pull off, and you have to be ready to describe that for the fans in a way that the fans would react as well. And I think that's the part that I'm having the most fun with is like yes, we're professional broadcasters, but we get to be fans on a microphone, and that part's so much fun.
I mean, it's great to hear this from a broadcasting standpoint. I mean, from traditional baseball to entertainment baseball, Brett Loftus said the exact same thing. You never know what's going to happen in banana ball, especially between the two foul lines out there. I mean, you have some insane guys on your team, Caden Green, Mason Maxwell, just to name a couple.
Yeah.
And I mean, this kind of leads to my next question. Obviously, you have a lot of star-studded guys on your Firefighters team, Ben Dunn as well, who's hopping on the podcast in a couple hours. But I want to ask you, is there one specific not, well, I almost said Texas, no, Firefighters player. I just got off the Texas Tailgaters interview. Firefighters player on your team that would most likely surprise you during a broadcast.
You talking about just like trick plays, just stuff on the field?
I would say in game or during the broadcast.
All
Yeah.
right. So let's see. Ben Dunn has pulled a handstand pitch out of nowhere in Washington, D.C. South Trimble has made a ball disappear not once, but twice. Mason Maxwell has caught multiple plays with a bare hand without the glove. Um, Ron Franklin has caught a ball doing a backflip and somehow caught it in his chest, not in his glove. Um, those four right off the jump. I mean, Ben's a guy who obviously he's got a great minor league career. But he's a guy that while his stats will tell you how good he is, you don't realize it until he can pull something out like a handstand pitch that like, oh yeah, this guy he can do things that you don't quite see every day. I will tell you an underrated guy is Logan Lacey. Um, because of two things. Number one, he's athletically talented, right? Anybody that can do a backflip handspring catch like he can, or can do the incredible plays that he does where he goes behind the back, fields it, turns around, throws it. I don't know how he does it because he does it in one fluid motion. He doesn't stop. He doesn't make it look herky jerky. It's unbelievable. But also, Logan's one of the funniest people we have on this team because he just doesn't have a filter, right? He just says whatever comes up here. And that's great because whatever comes up here is so unpredictable. It can be the truth, it can be a lie. And I think he'll take this as a compliment. He is an unbelievable liar. Logan Lacey is a tremendous prankster, and he just like he will stick to a lie to make sure that he can make you laugh as much as humanly possible. When I say he's lying, I'm obviously talking about like very silly stuff, but Lacey can absolutely pull something out of his hat that I'm like, I don't know where that came from. But it's either funny or man, it's caught me out completely without expecting that, and I got to be ready for it. So I'd say Lacey and the guys I mentioned like South, Ben Dumb for sure. Ron Franklin is good to do something that I wasn't quite predicting either.
That's actually very interesting to hear. It's great that you have great personalities, not just on the field but off the field as well. From the 1 through 9, I mean, it's great if you can play baseball. I mean, it's great if you're talented from that aspect. But if you're great from the fans first, personality aspect, I mean, that's just what makes it 10 times better. I mean, Ben Dunn, I'm looking forward to getting to talk with him
Yeah.
later on. And, Logan Lacey, maybe get him on the podcast soon, and make sure to say Zach Staton, set me with that big
Don't
props
tell
to
him I
him.
call don't tell him I call him a liar because I
A
think he'd be
liar.
mad at me.
I won't do that for sure. But
He
I
knows
actually want
it.
to.
He knows it,
So,
but
I mean, I actually want to ask you this. I mean, I get to ask players this, and I get various answers about pregame regimens and pregame rituals they do before going out on the field and playing a 9 inning game. I want to ask you. You're a broadcast entertainer. Is
Mhm.
there any sort of pregame ritual or pregame regimen that you do before getting in that booth? Because Brett Loftus told me he drinks like 2 energy drinks before every single call. So I want to ask you, is there something you do before you get in the
Yeah,
booth?
Brett goes into a zone that you wouldn't recognize him, right? He gets headphones in and just starts listening to whatever's on his playlist and just goes into a completely different zone. Um, for me, I like to go into like a little bit more of a quieter spot. Um, I tend to like to go on these walks where I can just sort of kind of get my mind locked in a little bit. Like I'll do what I need to do in talking to the players, having my stuff prepped as much as humanly possible. Um, before we get to the pregame entertainment side of things, because obviously we do a lot of stuff, whether it comes to our plaza shows, whether it comes to our pregame shows in the stadium. There's a lot of stuff to do once fans start rolling in. So around like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, I like to just go walk around the stadium for a second and just sort of get myself leveled out a little bit, because I can tell you, um, there are times where I think as any broadcaster, you get so in your head that you can't think straight and you don't quite get yourself ready to go. Um, and I learned this on my first weekend that sometimes it just helps to go take a breath and just get a walk in. So I like to go walk around the stadium for a second and just sort of get myself mentally locked in and get myself sort of calmed down more than anything. Um, and then after that, it's just constantly reading, constantly making sure that, like, hey, do I have everything from Val that I need to know? Do I have everything from the visiting coach I need to know? Talk to my producers as much as humanly possible, whether it's Yvonne Trezak, Chad Reese, Josh Richardson. Hey, what do I need to be prepared for in this situation? Hey, do I have this right on my rundown just in case? Is this graphic ready to go? Those kinds of things, and it'll be a little bit more from the play-by-play side of things coming up this year, because we're going more to the Banana Ball Championship League format. Um, so I'll be more up in the booth, so I'll have a lot more just direct human contact with them, which I can't wait for. Um, but yeah, I'm a little different, and just like I like to get away from the chaos for a second and just sort of like take a breath, get your mind locked in, get yourself calmed down, because the I want to be excited and hyped up, but if I'm too in my head, that's a dangerous place to be, right? That's not somewhere I should be left alone in my own mind. So just I like to go get a walk in, call my wife maybe, and just sort of get myself centered and ready to go.
I appreciate that you take, the mellow side of things. I mean, I personally do sports play-by-play here at my college at the University of West Georgia, and I do the exact same thing. I mean, I just listen to calming sounds and, want to get in the headspace because obviously, there's things that can go wrong during a broadcast that you don't want to go wrong. But it's great that you take a mellow, calm state of mind before, getting into an exciting, jam-packed entertainment game like the Firefighters. So I appreciate you sharing, that side of things. But I want to ask you, I guess more related on the broadcasting side of things. I asked Brett Loftus this, and I asked him for Texas barbecue words that would describe his broadcasting style. I want to ask you four firefighting terms or just flames or something that would describe your broadcasting style for the firefighters.
Ooh, that's a great question. Um, that's a great question. Um, I gotta think of four firefighting words that um, can relate to a broadcast. Prepared, Spark. Um, Not sure if flexible is a firefighting term or not. Um, but I'll say sparked, prepared, flexible, and committed. I think are the four terms. I know those aren't like specific to just firefighters, but if you think about it, that's really what they are. Um, you have to be committed to this if you're a firefighter. It's just not going to work, right? This is as dangerous a profession, and as selfless as a profession as you're going to get. So if you're not committed to it, people are. It's not going to be a job that lasts long. Um, you've got to be flexible. You get called in at any point in time. My father-in-law is a volunteer firefighter up in a small town in Virginia, and I mean he gets calls in every night at unexpected times, and you better be ready to go. Um, you've got to be prepared for any situation, right? Especially um, on a broadcast like we just talked about. This is not traditional by any sense of the word. So you better be ready to see that handstand pitch and how to call it. You better be ready if Dalton Cornett hits a home run to walk off showdowns and send your team or send a team to the World Tour Championship game. You better be ready. If Noah Bridges smacks a 2-run walk off to center field in the middle of June or July, you better be ready. And you better be understanding of how to call that in the same sense of if firefighters are called in for a gas leak, you got to be prepared for that. And if you're called in for a huge house fire, you got to be ready for that. And then sparks, man, like it just fire. I think that's the simplest terms. You're gonna get me fired up in all sense of the word. The one thing I will tell you, I don't know that I'm the perfect broadcaster. I certainly don't think I am. I certainly think there's a lot of places I can get better at all times. But the one thing you're never gonna lack from me is energy. When I'm on that show, when that microphone turns on, you're gonna get the gas tank emptied out from me. And some days that might be better than other days, but you're never gonna question my commitment or desire to make this as fun as you can possibly have it once that red light goes on and you see wherever we are, whether it's Billings, Montana or Wrigley Field. When that red light goes on, when the camera shows up and we're ready to go, the one thing you are never going to lack from me is that spark and the energy that's needed in Banana Ball.
I mean, I feel like those four words perfectly describe what it means to be like, a broadcast entertainer for the firefighters. And just like a firefighter, I mean, adaptability. You have to adapt to any sort of situation that, you can be put in because you never know what's going to come up next. But honestly, I think those are the perfect four words to describe a firefighter's broadcast entertainment. Zach, and honestly, I truly appreciate, sharing the in-depthness of that because a lot of people don't realize how much work and preparation goes into these games. And everything from like the sports media side to the actual in-game entertainment. So I mean, I love what you do, man. I love your broadcasting. I mean, I personally think you're a great broadcaster. Personally for me, but I have two more questions for you, Zach. And obviously, there's a new schedule coming out in 2026. So many fun, awesome away games and home games for the firefighters coming in the new year. What's one away game or one stadium you're looking forward to traveling to in 26?
I don't know that I have one answer for you, man. There's so many. I mean, just from a personal standpoint, going to Richmond is always very nostalgic for me. Number one, I grew up in Salem, Virginia. So obviously when we went there last year, that was fun. But Richmond, I have family that still lives there. My grandparents, for most of my life lived there before they passed away. I still have family that related to them that live in the area. It's the place where I called my first firefighter games, full time. We're helping open up a new park in Richmond, right next to the Diamond in Carmack. So I can't wait for that. Plus Jackie Bradley Jr. is from Richmond and we're playing the Clowns. So like that'll be cool. Fargo, North Dakota is not going to be one you hear a ton, I think, from some people, but like for me, that holds a special place in my heart because that's where I started my career at. And got a lot of chances and a lot of trust, to continue to try to do things the way that I wanted to do them. And I mean, like I got the opportunity to again, rise up from a hybrid sports and news reporter to the weekday sports anchor very quickly. A lot of places don't give a new person that level of trust in a year and a half. I got that. And so to be able to go back there on a personal note and give thanks to a lot of people and pay my respects and appreciation to people who helped me get going. That's going to be awesome. And I think that's the trip too that my wife is going on. So like that'll be cool for us just to see where like our marriage started again and have a full circle moment. I always like going to the small places a
Mhm.
little bit or the smaller stadiums because that's likely the first time they're going to get to see the sport. So like when we go to Billings, Montana, that's going to be awesome. It's our debut in the States. I want to put on a great show for them. I want them to, when we get done there, be like, man, I want them to come back. I want them to go to Bozeman so I don't have to travel too far. I want them to go to Missoula so I don't have to travel as far. I want people in that state to go, I want this to come back here. And so we have that responsibility. And I can't wait for that going back to Billings. And then how could I not say Wrigley Field, right? Like, number one, I love being in Chicago last year. It's probably up there in one of my top three favorite cities that we visited. And it's Wrigley Field. Like I visited there after went to a game there after we finished up at Rate Field a season ago. There's a presence that not every stadium has. I said the same thing about Fenway Park. It doesn't feel like a stadium. It feels like it's alive. It feels like it's a being that you just can't describe until you're there. That's what it was like at Wrigley Field. Just to see the ivy on the walls, to see all the brick layout, to see Wrigleyville. It was just an atmosphere I couldn't describe without being there for the first time. So I can't wait to go to Wrigley and hopefully see three firefighter wins there against the Bananas.
I mean, I look forward to all the stadiums you guys go to in 2026. I mean, I'm glad it's a full circle moment for you. Getting the opportunity to go back to where you started your career out in
Yeah,
Virginia and stuff like that. And honestly, the smaller stadiums, I mean, so much nostalgia and history behind those stadiums. Like, I mean, getting the opportunity to go to Montana. I mean, there's not really many sports in Montana outside of, the University of Montana sports that they have out there. So, it's great. You're bringing a different sort of energy and, a show to places that, not many people get to have the opportunity to see that. But Wrigleyville, personally, I'm a Cardinals fan, so I got a little beef with, Cubs fans in Wrigleyville. I can't deny it's a historic stadium.
sure. Hey man,
But
I'm a Yankee fan, and when I went to Fenway, I had to lower the rivalry flag for a minute and just be like, Fenway Park's unbelievable, right?
yeah.
It's an incredible place. Now, it doesn't mean I like the team that plays on the field,
Mhm.
but it's an incredible field nonetheless.
I completely understand. I mean, I love Fenway. I haven't been to Yankee Stadium yet. I mean, that's on my list for 26 when I graduate in the spring from college. But honestly, I look forward to every single stadium that you guys get to play at and call at for
Yeah.
2026. So I appreciate that. Final question for you, Zach. I asked this for every Banana Ball entertainer and player. Obviously, Banana Ball's motto is fans first, entertainment. What does the term fans first personally mean to you?
It means it means that you are looking out for the people who make this go, right? When people leave the stadium, whenever the game is done, I want them to feel like they saw something that they never did before. Even if they maybe did, they saw it in a different way. They got interactions with people that they usually don't get to have interactions with. That they walk away from that stadium feeling like, man, I got served. My money was used properly. Like I got my money's worth and then some. It means giving them experiences that they can then say, I want everybody to experience this, right? And so for us as entertainers, for the players, that means going well beyond what you usually do or what you're used to. We had a rain delay in Chicago, and I remember just hearing Jesse say, "Go find people." Just go find people and try to interact. And so I remember just going up to the top deck, and there were people sitting through the rain and the lightning and the thunderstorms, still just trying to see a game. And so just spending time with them up there, talking to them, asking them what they liked about the games, just being up there. You could see that like even just going up there, myself and Marshall Schill, them seeing us was like, oh wow, they're coming to the top deck. We usually don't get that up here. Um, it's things like that where you go, okay, maybe a small gesture helps in a way that will get someone back and makes an experience that is annoying to sit through a rain delay. It is. We've all been there. Maybe it made it a little bit better. Maybe it was a little bit more fun for them. Um, maybe it was something that they can say, you know what, that made this worth it. It's those kinds of things. Whether you're on the microphone, on the field, whatever the case may be, whether you're at the merchandise stand, whatever, wherever you are in the organization, fans first means that you give people the opportunity to say, I want to come back, and this time I want to bring more people with me because they can they can escape reality for a couple hours and just have fun. Look, this the world that we live in is really really tough right now. It's a very scary place at times, and if more than anything, it can beat up on people. It really can. Post COVID, it's a place that can sometimes be really good, but can sometimes be really really tough to deal with. And so, if we can have people come into our games, into our shows, and go, man, that was what I needed. That was the medicine I needed. That was the 2 hours I needed to just clear my head and just have fun. If we can do that, that's fans first to me. It's giving them an experience where they can go, I'm glad I did that and I want to come back and do it again.
That's absolutely awesome to hear, especially, you want to provide a show and an experience that they haven't seen before, or if they have seen before, in a different way. Something that they can go home to their friends and family and say, do this. Honestly, that's what I love about Banana Ball and Fans First Entertainment. And I heard from one of the players like that, you guys have the opportunity before the game to go into the stands and
Mhm.
interact with these fans. It's something that, Pro Ball doesn't give you the luxury of.
Right.
So honestly, I love to see it for Fans First Entertainment. I love to see it for Banana Ball, and I look forward to what you do, Zach Staton, and everybody does in Banana Ball in 2026. But Zach, thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to do this. I truly appreciate it. I loved all the insight you provided me, and hopefully the fans love it too. But thank you so much, Zach, for your time, and I hope you have a
Absolutely,
happy
man.
holidays.
I'm glad to do it. Anytime you want me on here, just shoot me a message. I'd be more than happy to do it, man. I'm excited for 2026. Firefighters look really fun. Getting Donnie and EJ on the team, getting Zach Phillips and Armando on the team, infusion of some new players in the sport. So I'm looking forward to what the Firefighters do. And man, Banana Ball Championship League is just it adds a whole new thing for 2026. So man, I can't wait to get out there and see so many new fans and get to interact with them and hopefully do more of these things.
I mean, I know everybody with the fans look forward to it in 2026, Zach, but I
100%.
hope you have a happy holidays and I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you so much for your time.
Hey, same to you, man. Thanks for having me on, and hope you guys out there have a great holiday season.